What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. So on the left side here we have Kashtira playing up against Swordsoul. Both decks got upgraded, with the now addition of 3 desires for both decks actually. But we also see Kashtira getting back 3 copies of the unicorns. They were at 2, but bumping it up to 3 now is going to be a very good consistent hit for them. It is itself a whole combo. If it doesn't see Theosis getting ashed, of course. But if you already have Theosis in hand, you can always go for the Birth, which is a very good card as well. But we're going to be diving on in with the Kashtira player. Going to be going first, starting off with a unicorn of itself here. Going to be activating its effects, and then they'll be able to search. But they're going to get hit with an Ash Blossom. They're going to be activating the effect of the unicorn. And this is what I mean, the power of unicorn himself. Now we get to see what the whole opponent's extra deck is, which lets us know what the deck is of our opponent. And we can now set up our board depending on what we need here. We do see them banishing the copy of Barone, which is a nice one of in the deck. I think the best options are either between Barone or the Draco Berserker, if I do recall, for this matchup. Then we're going to see the Prosperity going to be activated here, revealing the top 6. We see Unicorn Birth, double Birth here. So we're going to be choosing the Birth there. Also having that copy of Terraforming being an option. So we can assume there's another copy of a. So going for the Fenrir here, as I say, another copy of Kashtira in the hand, which we are going to be seeing them using the normal summon with the effect of Birth, going to let them normal summon without tributing here. Then we can see the Fenrir effect and be able to activate the effects. Searching for a copy of Rise Heart, if we need it, but it looks like they're going to be thinking. I guess it is a kind of a little bit of a hard matchup there. You probably do go for the Shangira lines, which are going to be seen to go for a Fenrir instead. So maybe already having the copy of Rise Heart in the hand, which we do see, and then we can then banish, or we can go for an XYZ play here, going for Shangira, banish maybe a copy of Ogre. Now we're going to see them banish the Ogre here first, interestingly. And then we can maybe, we're going to see Birth most likely summon out the Ogre. Only having 4 summons here, and then we can be able to activate the Ogre effect, getting the preparations onto the field, or I guess in our hand. Then we're going to be setting the card Mystery Trap here. But we are going to be using a summon to go for the Shangira. I wonder why we didn't do that first. Being able to, maybe lock a zone here. We're going to set a card and passing. Then we're going to be seeing the draw phase. Preparation is going to be flips face up here. And then Shangira will be able to activate its effects in the standby phase, summoning out a copy of the unicorn there. I suppose we wanted to leave the Fenrir on the field, and if we would have gone for the Shangira line prior, we would have had to leave the Rise Heart on the field, which is quite useless. So we're going to see them maybe chain an Ash Blossom or chain the Imperm to this probably. They can't really afford their, they don't have Unicorn in the field, so I guess they could Ash this. But they are going to let it resolve, going to summoning out the Unicorn here. Interesting that they want to be burning it on the copy maybe of Unicorn or the Fenrir, depending on which is going to be more problematic. On their hand, they have Tennies in the hand, so they're probably going to be choosing to hit the Fenrir instead. They can kind of deal with the extra deck rip. They've already gotten rid of their Barone, so. But they're choosing not to even activate the Imperm here. And then we're going to be seeing them go for the copy of. Okay, so we're going to be activating all the effects here. And we see a Ecclesia, Heavenly. They're going to get rid of a Taya there, so maybe only hitting that one Taya is quite good. And then, of course, they're going to be banishing the guy face down. And then we're going to be hitting another copy of the Draco Berserker in the extra deck there. So now they have to have another copy of a. And then, of course, they get to banish. I think they lock 3 zones here. So we're going to be locking those 3 zones. We're giving them at 2 monster zones, which can be quite problematic, especially getting rid of those 2 link zones. Therefore, we can't do any of those shaman plays with the monks and stuff like that. We can only end up going for 1 monk at a time. I wonder if now we just... we do see the tennies in the hand, so they can go for the Ashuna here. And we have, of course, we still have the Ash in our hand. We're going to go for a monk. And then do we just go for the Ashuna summon? But like, you can't really link it to anything. I don't really see... I can't see how we're going to win this one, to be honest. I mean, that's what I like about having like Zeus in your deck. You're able to go for Zeus so easily, which is why I think like Branded and Swordsoul are kind of having a little bit of a backseat. You know, Typhon is being able to be played, but we're going to see Moya going to be summoning itself out, summoning a token here, which is a ghost trick, which is kind of funny there. Now we're going to see them synchro summon away into a copy of... like, Chi-Zhao doesn't do anything for us. And we got rid of the Draco Berserker, so we are going to be solving that problem, but we're pretty much forced to go for a Baxia line. And then Baxia can then spin 2 back. But, like, you spin back... what do you even spin back? Probably the copy of Shangira for sure, but maybe a copy of Fenrir. They're going for the Baxia here. And let's see what they do spin back. Targeting the Shangira, and they get to have that Moyi draw as Chain Link 2. They're going to hitting it with Ash Blossom, and they spin back at the Shangira. Oh, they only spin back 1, right? Because it's not Taya. Taya is the 2. I always forget that Taya is a different attribute. And we could go for the Ashuna Banished if we wanted to summon out, but there's not going to be really much that we can do with that. I guess we can go for the copy of Vashuda, then link away Vashuda to bounce back. But like, do you want to bounce back a copy of Unicorn or Fenrir? Like, let's just summon it back next turn. That's kind of what the problem with this deck really is. And they have Fenrir for follow-up, so no matter what you really do, they can get rid of it. Looks like they're thinking here. They want to go for a Chenging line. It looks, or yeah, the it's not Chenging, but the Yangzing one. Chaofang. Chaofang's the one I'm looking for. But they're going to link 2 to go for a copy of Lina, but Lina doesn't summon anything from their graveyard. There's no lights. I mean, at this point, you just banish your copy of Ashuna summon, but then you're locked into Worms. Then you can't summon out your light. So going for the Lina here, and then Lina will attack, but they'll just... what light monster do they want so bad? They're attacking to the Fenrir here, then we're going to get the effect to search. Oh, they want to go for Ecclesia, okay. But if Taya's hit in the deck, they can't do anything there. So I'm going to go for the Ecclesia. I suppose this is a fair play, but if they're only on the one Taya, which I believe they are, that game's kind of gone. But I mean, I suppose that you have to try. I never really thought of that play. That's a pretty cool play. And then they realize that they have not... they don't have the second Taya. So they can't get it. But if they could have gotten the Taya there, they could have been able to banish some of the token. Then they can go for a copy of the second Baxia, shuffle back 2 of those, and then get a dump. They have the Fenrir still in the hand, which is like problematic. But do they maybe just leave like an Ogre on the field? You spin back maybe 2 of them, leave the Ogre. You spin back the copy of... Spin back to the deck or the hand? I don't even know. I have to check that out. Does Baxia spin back? Where does it spin back to? Into the deck. So I guess you could go for... You probably just leave the Ogre on the field. And then you spin back, leaving pop, summon. Well, what can you really go for to get rid of the copy of the Unicorn on the field? Because you have to get rid of the Unicorn. I guess you could leave the copy of Fenrir on the field, but it doesn't really do very much for you. But they have like Ogre Fenrir, which is pretty good. They can go for a copy of like the Big Eye, and then Big Eye can take, or they could go for a bunch of stuff, really. They could go for Big Eye, then they could go for the Typhon if they wanted to over the Big Eye. There's lots of stuff they can do. But diving on into game 2 here, that was not very winnable, even if they did have the Taya here. We're going to be seeing Swordsoul going to be going first. Starting off the Desires, finally at 3 here. Will we see the notorious draw 2 Desires off this, though? We are going to be seeing an Ash, so not even getting that chance to draw those 2 cards. And we do see the Mogi in the hand. I think also a copy of Vishuddha and an Emergence. So there's lots of good cards that we have here. We'll be able to set up at least a level 8 and a level 10. We see the Mogi normal summon, activating the effect, revealing the Emergence. Summon with a token there. Then we can go for a copy of activating Emergence to search. Going for the Taya. I suppose if it's in your hand, you can't banish it from the deck. Then we're going to go Long Young, pitch the Taya, summoning out here. Summoning out a token. So now we can play around the Baron, or I guess around the Nib, with going for a copy of Baron here. Dealing that 1,200 life points as well. And we are now Nib-proof here. Unless we have Imperm Nib, then we'd be quite in trouble. But if they had Imperm Nib Ash, then they're just better. And we're going to go for Chizao 1, and then Moye 2. Going to be able to, or I guess, Chizao 2, Moye 1. I'm going to be able to search first for the copy of Blackouts, due to them already having everything I really searched here. But they really want to go for, they want to go for Emergence here? Oh, they banished Blackout off the Desires. Wow, that's definitely, that's rough. Going for the second Taya, so maybe they banished both Tayas, one with the Rise Heart and one with the Ogre there. That is rough. And they draw into an Ashna, and we do see the Blackout being the bottom card off the Desires there. That's quite problematic. They're just going to pass on this. And then we see a copy of the Pressured Planet going to be activated here, giving them the ability to search for any Kashtira monster on the field. We are going to be seeing them attempting to Baron negate this, but it negates the activation here. And we see another planet being smashed down here, just essentially wasting that whole copy of Baron, which is quite nice for them. We're going to see them search for a copy of the Unicorn here, which will let them summon out the monster. We see a Prod of Prosperity going to be activated prior, though. Banishing 6 from the extra deck. And we see a Theosis, Scareclaw Kashtira, a Lava Golem, 2 Rise Hearts, and a Duster. So, the opportunity there to maybe get the Lava Golem. Lava Golem going to be clearing that body of essentially the negate of the Chizao, which can then let them go for Unicorn, summon it out, go for Theosis. Theosis summon out the Fenrir there. Fenrir can search for the Rise Heart, and they're off on the races. It looks like they're thinking. They might take the Scareclaw Kashtira as well. And that could be a possibility. We do see a copy of the Econ in the hand. So choosing the copy of Riseheart here. So they will not, we see the excitement of not getting Lava Golem there, letting them also have the chance to use that Qijiao negate. But they don't know that we have the copy of the Econ in the hand. We're going to see the Unicorn being special summoned out, activating its effects here. Is there a world where maybe you go Riseheart first, summon himself out before you activate the Unicorn effect, so that you can tribute it off if need be? We're going to see the Qijiao going to be attempting to negate by banishing that copy of the Moyi. As soon as you definitely banish the copy of Longyang, we see a droplet sending to negate here. So also having the droplets. Therefore, they're going to be able to search for the copy of Birth. Is it not Theosis you go for here? I guess they want to kind of play around with the Ash Blossom. We're going to see them banishing the Draco Berserker there. The Baron's already on the field. It's already a problem that's been dealt with. So we can, attempt to end up going through that. We're going to see the Riseheart going to be summoning out, activating the effect, banishing the copy of the Fenrir here, which the Birth can bring back out. Yeah, it is quite a problematic card. Birth is insane. I guess that you're definitely going to go over that, over the Theosis, because then we can just bring it back out. Fenrir can then also search, rather than, having just an empty Theosis in the graveyard here. We're going to be searching for the copy of Ogre, which we have not normal summoned yet, so we can use the effect of the Birth to then normal summon out the Ogre by not tributing. Then we can go for a copy of the Big Eye. Big Eye can then take the Baron. Then we're going to be seeing the Baron popping it. Big Eye cannot attack, I believe, though. So we're going to be seeing the 3,024 as well as 28 here, taking them down to a solid 40 due to the fact that Prosperity was activated earlier this turn. And then we're going to be seeing them activate the effect of Ogre, obviously, on the attack declaration. Looking at what they have, they can do a talents drop. Like, if they get rid of the talents, they're going to be hitting the droplets there. So I guess they don't really care about droplets because the chances are they're going to be sending a monster. And they do have the Econ to dodge. And they're just going to pass turn on this. We now know their top deck. Compared to, like, what talents would be. Talents would be a draw too. But I wonder if they let them draw into maybe those double copies of... Is there a world where we let them draw into the double copies of the Vishuddha and let them have talents? Like, I guess a talents take, and that is kind of problematic depending on what their other cards in the hand. They know they have the droplets as well as Emergence and Taya. So I suppose there's only one card that's unknown at the moment, which ends up being a copy of Ashina. Maybe there's two cards that are unknown. We're going to see the Ashina summon himself out. And I feel like we just don't care about this at all. Like, there's no need to Fenrir banish it face down. We can go for the Link 1 with the Monk. Yeah, we know there's Taya in the hand. Like, Taya being normal summon and then just, like, having that be able to banish. But, like, the problem is that... Oh, I guess we do have the Adhara. So we could go for now the Vishuddha. Summoning out to go for... We got rid of the Draco Berserker, but I could go for a copy of the Baxia. Baxia can shuffle back 2 here. So we're going to be seeing the Ashina going to activate its effects. Summoning out the copy of Vishuddha. Is there a world where maybe we activate the Econ now, take the Vishuddha? But they also have like emergence in hand too, which is kind of bad. But they don't have emergence in hand anymore. They used to search for a Taya. That's right. So we're gonna see drop. That's gonna activate its effects here, sending 2 of them here to negate both their effects. We're gonna chain Econ to take and attribute off the Ogre here. Then we're negating the Barone as well as, or we're negating Barone as well as the Big Eye. I feel like you just definitely negate in half the Fenrir. We're going to be seeing the Birth going to be activating its effects, which can then let us banish. And I feel like we banish Moye and the Vishuddha here. Okay. Then we can normal summon with the Taya, activate the effect here, which can then banish the Taya, summon out a token. Then we can add Hara to add back the copy of the Ashina. We're running low on fumes. We can then link or synchro away for a copy of Baxia. Baxia's going to be able to spin back. We spin back the Barone. Okay, so we're spinning back Barone and the Fenrir here. Or not the Fenrir, but the... Barone and Fenrir, I should say. And then that's going to let us dump also from the deck, dumping a Moyi, which we can then summon back out, which is going to be looking to a Chijao here. We could go battle phase first if we wanted to, but we're going to be going for the tag out, essentially. And then Moyi's going to be revealing, summon. And then we can go for the copy of Cheng-Ying. Cheng-Ying. Cheng-Ying can then search us, or Chijao, I should say. Chijao and Moyi is going to let us draw a card, as well as going to be able to search for that Long Yang, which can go into another copy of Barone. Barone can there pop the Big Eye. We draw into a Vishuddha as well, which is really nice. So we can go... We should send the Ashina here so that we don't end up knowing what the other card in our hand is. But we send the Vishuddha instead. I know it does create quite a bit of a problem. But it doesn't really matter because, like in the stand, or I guess the next turn, after they pass, they can just go for like a token. And then we're seeing them attack into that. And then we're going to be seeing them attack. Oh, they're in Sinister because they can't go for a Barone because they are after the effect of Ashina here. So they don't have a way to pop the Birth. That's problematic. And I guess you don't even want to bounce the Birth. I completely forgot that they are worm locked. But our opponent is going to scoop it up here, not having enough. I mean, the effects of Sinister is really nice because when you special summon a monster on resolution, then you can just banish. Therefore, you can't really summon multiple times with the Birth. It is quite a good card, to be honest. And you are dealing some damage, like the 12s. They were down to, I believe it's 50. They took 53. So they do it again. They took 65. And then at that point, it's you're only away from 15 away. And they are running close to time here. So we're going to be seeing them go into game 3 with Kashtira. Going to be choosing to go first here. I wonder if they have a burn card or if they're even playing. I guess the burn card would be the Red Eyes. I wonder if they are playing the Red Eyes to be able to deal some damage. But is it even worth going for that? Making them risk it all here for the time? I think there's 4 minutes left till time. And we do see them siding out some of those cards. Siding out the copy of the Blue Tenyi. And then we see the Mourners in the deck, still in the side deck there. I know Bell is getting quite good this format as well, with the addition of Labyrinth being a crazy deck, and then Fire King, of course, being still one of the best decks. Labyrinth and Fire King, being both amazing cards. We will definitely see a resurgence of Bell, plus Runic being just everywhere as well with that. having multiple options to hit Bell. If it's not in the main deck, it definitely is in the side deck, depending on how many cards you can play or how many hand traps. Some people are playing it in the main for at least the start of the format. A lot of the times we see Bell come in and out of the format a lot. But going into Game 3 here, we do see them shuffle up real well. You do have 3 minutes to side. I don't know how long you really want to take to side, especially when you're getting super close to the clock here. We're 2 minutes into almost time, if I do recall. I guess that's sped up. So there's probably like 5 or 6 minutes left in real life time, but we are going almost 2x speed here. And it looks like we're going to be seeing the Kashtira player going to be choosing to go first. We do see a nib in the hand of the Swordsoul player. Will the Kashtira player play into nib? We're going to let them start. Okay, that's something I did not expect. Then we're going to be seeing them go for Long Yang pitching the Ashina. And then they're going to go for a copy of Chizhao here. We are close to time. Going for a Sinister there. I always say Chizhao, but it's always Sinister or Baron. They're going to make them deal 12. And that's what they're thinking. You're going to put it in defense position here. And they do deal the 12, and that's just going to be a pass turn on that. That's wild. Making your Swordsoul player going to go first is interesting to me as well. You definitely do not want, that's such an easy way to just burn, right? Long Yang is quite a good card here. Then we're going to be seeing them activate Prosperity there, and they're going to be choosing the Econ, and then of course we're going to be seeing the effect, or no effect, okay. Then we're going to see them summon out the Ogre here. I feel like we're forced to do this. We should have also done the Prosperity as well, which can then let us, take some damage. We're going to see them chain the Econ there, and we're going to be chaining the effect. Oh, we're not even chaining the effect. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you chaining and making them take some life points here? We're going to see the Rise Heart being normal summoned. They're going to send the Fenrir from the deck to make it level 7. Then we're going to play the we're going to play the Birth, which can then summon out the Fenrir. Fenrir is going to be searching for the Unicorn. And then, of course, we can normal summon it out. We're going to go right into battle phase here. And then we're going to be taking some damage. Essentially making it so that the Swordsoul player ends up losing this one. I don't know why they're not doing the burn stuff. Like, you definitely should have burned on at least one of them. Prosperity is definitely a good burn target. We're going to go for a Shangira. And then they're going to be going back, giving that Sinister during the end phase of this turn. Then during the standby, we should get the effect of the Shangira here, but we are going to be going into time, and we see the Kashtira player end up taking the game there with being able to go battle phase, which is pretty nice. Definitely should have, burned with a bunch of stuff there, and also we see like they could have summoned it out. Took a lot more time on the clock, but just wanting to like link away into Monk, and then you can just summon out another monster. There could have been so much stuff they could have done there, which could have been played into Nib, but we see the Kashtira player end up taking it with the little misplay, but making their opponent going to go first, which is kind of nice there. We also see the Storm in the hand, thinking that's definitely not what they thought was going to happen. Regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, want to see more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.